G'day beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over a build that I created for Narbash that was requested. Someone saw this in one of my build guides in the background and wanted to see it, so I thought I would put it out now. It is called Anti Countess. It is for the support. It is still, your ability to be an Anti Countess is still kind of relevant. You're not just going to shut down a Countess. One of the best ways to actually shut down a Countess is to have 2 or 3 people on your team running Godmother Vigilant from order, and only Godmother Vigilant from order, because it creates 3 characters that cannot be killed by Countess. But we're going to go on, we're going to have a look at the cards that I have on. So it's Knowledge and Order, okay? A lot of these cards are not really going to be used, but it is sort of reliant on, say, 3 cards for the Anti-Countess build, and the rest of it is just there so that you have the ability to use it for other things. So we start off, we have Lamplighter. Lamplighter is an exceptional card in Order, and it is something that all supports should have if they are running Order. 300 cost. Shadow Ward, you're going to get 2 of them. Once you use the second one, it is going to disappear. So if you've only put 1 ward down and you're going to back, you should definitely put the second one down and then buy it again when you back. Otherwise, you're going to come back out in combat and only have 1 ward. We then have Font of Experience. You just gain extra experience, and it is very good for a support because you're going to get those abilities that you need to save your carry earlier. Okay, moving on, we have Generator, which I don't tend to use too often, but it is in there just in case I feel like I'm going to need it. It's just a 1500 consumable, so you'll lose it once you use it, but you'll get 100 mana per second for 30 seconds. It can be quite good on someone like Narbash, because he can just smash out his healing and toss out abilities while getting all that mana back, but then again you are getting rid of 1500 coins that could be used elsewhere. We then have Mana Flow Acolyte. This is not a card that I use when I'm going against a Countess. It is here for other reasons when there is no Countess. It's going to increase your max mana by 0.5% and power by 0.5% when you purchase Intellect, which means you can get quite a lot of power and max mana from this card. Then we have Radiant Healer. It's a very good card for someone like Narbash because it means that he doesn't have to have his healing active all the time. And it is quite cheap, so while you're going for one of the more expensive cards that are in this build, you can chuck this on in the interim while you have that intellect there that's not being used. Then we have Protective Sentry, our other ward card. It's obvious why you want wards when you're going up against, say, a Kalaria or a Countess, because Countesses tend to run Shadow Dancer, so knowing when they're coming is a brilliant thing. Then we have Brilliant Fortification. As I've said in my other Narbash build, it's just always on my support builds because you're always going to have 4 intellect there to spend or get rid of a card and then have it to spend. And as long as you have 1,000 coins, you can always just back, sell a card and put this on and stop the enemy from being able to take inhibs or your core. Then we have Arcane Dancer. Now this is a good card to put on to negate damage that's going to be coming in from Countess, but it's not actually going to be part of our full build to save our carry from Countess. But as I said, it is a good card to stop the damage coming in to you. It reduces ability damage taken by 85% for the next 6 seconds, so she's going to do pretty much jack shit to you if you have this running. It's a very, very good card. And next up we have, all the way down here, one of the main cards that, oh, we've actually skipped one, haven't we? We have skipped one, yes. This is part of my main build. It is called Malink's Grace. Gives you 455 health, and it also gives you shield link. You can shield yourself and target ally for 15% of your max health for 3 seconds. And it has a 45-second cooldown. So you can hopefully see why this is part of the build to go against Countess, because if she does get the drop on you and your carry, and she jumps on them to ult, you can actually shield for 15% of your max health, which with another card that we're going to be having, we're going to have at least 3,000 health. So that's going to equate to about 450 damage negated. It's not going to completely save your carry, because he's going to cop a lot of damage off of a rotation of Countess's abilities, but that 455 shield is going to be very, very handy. Okay, so then we have the second card that is part of the max build, which is Gag Order. So if she does get the drop on you and you manage to shield from her ult or whatever she uses first, you can then use Gag Order to silence her for 3 seconds. She'll also take 15% increased damage. So she won't be able to use any abilities during that time. There will be no shadow slipping, no extra damage coming in. You and your carry can do a little bit of damage for 3 seconds, which is going to be increased by 15%, and then you still have a stun after that to shut her down for a little bit longer. Then we have Domain of Stillness. It stasis yourself and all nearby heroes for 2.5 seconds, so it stasis everyone. I like to have this on my Narbash build just for those instances where the enemy team uses all their ults. So you can sort of negate everyone's ults, and then your team still has theirs to win the team fight with. Then we have the last card of our actual full build, which is Godmother's Vigilant. You are not going to get the elevate part of this running the 3 cards that we're running, because elevate is only ever active when it's the only card available. Only card slotted, so you will still get the 15% health increase, but you will not get the extra 1% per attribute point purchased, because it's not going to be the only card equipped. Having said that, just running Narbash with Godmother's Vigilant is incredible. The amount of health that you'll have is insane. You will also have a good amount of healing coming through off of your abilities. You just keep going into Vitality and Intellect to increase the amount of health you have and the amount of mana that you have. Even when buying Intellect to increase your mana pool, you will also be increasing your health pool. Countess will not be able to kill you. No way, shape or form will she be able to kill you. And more than likely you will actually 1v1 a Countess with this. But this build is about saving your carry. So this card will be on, it will be increasing your health by 15%, you'll also be getting the 565 health off of it. You will then have, as we said, Gag Order, which will give you a little bit of mana and it will allow you to silence her for 3 seconds, and then you will have Malink's Grace, which gives you even more health and allows you to shield your target ally for 15% of your max health. Okay, so they are the 3 cards in the end build. What you want to try to do, as I said, is because these 3 cards are going to be part of your max build, you're not actually going to have a ward. So you could choose to replace Godmother's Vigilant with a ward, or Gag Order with a ward, but it's not going to tend to work quite as well. It does work a lot better when you have these 3 cards equipped, because Godmother Vigilant is going to increase the amount that you heal through Malink's Grace. And Gag Order is just incredible to have against the Countess, because her not being able to use abilities for 3 seconds when her health pool is not very high means that she's going to be bursted down very, very easily. Okay, so that is the build that I have named Anti Countess as far as the cards go. As far as gems go, now there are some that you could switch up a little bit. In Vitality I use Experienced. You don't have to run this if you do not want to. You could easily replace that for something like Deadly Mana or Blade Turn. I just go for Experience because why not? That one there was on Mana Fountain, I believe. I did not actually look at to what that was. But it should be on Mana Fountain. It's just going to allow you to have more mana. You could easily run Spellburn as well, but I like Mana Fountain with a bit of ability armor. And then you have Spell Shield, which I run with ability armor. But if you wanted to, you could run ruthless spells or reactive spells. That's completely and utterly up to you. I just find that spell shield is extremely good, especially when you are dealing with a countess. If you have these on ability armor, you have spell shield, and you are just running Godmother's Vigilant, it's going to be dirty. I use quick exit as my level 1 for vitality. It just allows me to get back to my carry quicker. I use damage reduction for my level 7. You could easily go for armored as well if you want, come in with an extra 125 shield, but I, as I said, go for the damage reduction. And then I have damage return with ability armor. I don't really feel like there's much of a better option. If you can find something else somewhere that you would rather run than any of these, you can do so. If you want to increase the amount of health that you have to use Malink's Grace with, you could easily make that a health card, make health gem rather, and make those 2 health gems if you wanted to, but that's entirely up to you. The gems are very much interchangeable. The main thing is just those 3 cards, which are once again Godmother Vigilant, Sleeper Agent, and Malink's Grace. So give it a try. As I said, it does work, but it is reliant on you being on the ball. If you wanted to replace one of those cards like Godmother Vigilant and put a ward in instead on the full build, that is up to you. You won't have as much to shield with, but you will still be able to shut down that countess because you'll be able to shield a little bit of the initial damage. You'll be able to thunk them for a second and a half, 2 seconds, and then you can sleeper agent them when they're back up and ready to start again, which will hopefully be enough to get them killed. But that is the build, guys. Once again, just quickly before I go, I do strongly recommend that when you have a countess, you have a couple of people just run Godmother as the only card on there, because we had a match last night that was about 56 minutes long, and it ended up with a countess on both teams. Their team had 2 or 3 people running just Godmother Vigilant, and our countess could just not get anything done whatsoever. So I strongly recommend trying that. It is quite fun having an insanely huge health ball. But that's it, guys. So if you enjoyed the video in any way, shape or form, please smash the like button. If you do go on to try this build and you enjoy it and you find that it works and you can make it work, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I'd love to hear that you've had success with the build. And subscribe if you're not already, guys. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.